Hi, I'm back with another process video. This is a layout that I did for my weekly challenge with Hannah Lemieux for our Scrappy Playdate. And our challenge this week was to use up some older stuff. So I pulled out my go-to all-time favorite Maggie Holmes Flea Market collection. And let me tell you, not one scrap of this ever goes in the garbage, as I'm sure you can see. So yeah, I just loved everything about this collection, and I stocked it until I got my hands on some of it. So I'm selecting this as my background paper. That's my photo. It was supposed to be printed at 2x3 off my selfie, but I accidentally left on the bordered feature, so it is just a tad bit smaller, and I did do some edits on it just straight off my phone. So I think it's not completely black and white, although it looks like it. It's almost though. So I'm just taking a crumpled up dry paper towel here and some gesso, which is by Utrecht. It's a really, really thick, heavy gesso. And I would just dip my paper towel into the jar, and then I've applied it to the background paper where I wanted my main cluster to be. And sorry about the shadows. There was a lot of sunlight coming in from behind me, and so you're going to catch that shadow for most of the video. So yeah, I'm just looking for some papers that I want to use right now. And actually, I kind of started with an odd part. Usually I go straight to my layers and stuff like that. But here I am. I knew I wanted to do some borders on the sides. I've done them on the top and bottom before, but I've been seeing a lot of layouts recently in galleries and on Pinterest where they're actually moving these borders to the left and right sides of the layout, and I just love it. I think it's such a cool way to frame in the page, and so I wanted to try it. So I used that heart bokeh paper and my Tim Holtz ruler, and I just tore kind of uneven strips off of each side of it so that the straight edge would definitely line up. And yeah. So now I'm going to go in with some washi tape. I wanted to layer some of that in with those, and I'm just tearing it down the middle so I get that kind of nice torn edge look to it. And I'm going to layer this under. I'm going to layer this under those strips. That washi that I'm currently using is from My Mind's Eye. I believe it's Nob Hill, and it's like a clear and gold polka dot washi. And then I'm just going to grab some black soot to just define those torn edges there. And so I'm just going to run that black soot along the edge. Okay. Don't lose it, okay? So I'm just using my ATG there to put those strips down. And I'm going to take this other washi tape, which is by Recollections, and it's just a film strip. And I'm going to layer that on top of both of them. And that little piece in the top right corner is just kind of like it tore off weird, so I just went with it and threw it on there. So yeah. So now I'm going to start picking out papers for my backgrounds or for my layers, excuse me, and I'm just digging through the scraps because I just don't want to cut up another sheet. I'm telling you, I professionally hoard this collection. So I'm just digging through the scraps that I keep in the front of the 12 by 12 collection pack there, or paper pad, excuse me. And I'm just selecting a few of them out. That is a navy polka dot, and I just tore it towards me. If you tear towards you, then you get this really cool, like white edge. The white core of the paper will come out. So, yeah. And I've done that on like my last one or two layouts. I just am really loving the look of that. So, So for this teal paper, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I love the gradient in it for sure, but I just wanted a different edge to it. So I'm going to go grab my EK Success. It's like a large scallop. I forget the actual name of it, but it's a really cool punch. And I punched that in one side of it, and then I'm just going to take my scissors and trim out the rest. And then that scrap was just exactly how it is. These are my stencils, and I keep them in that iris case there. And I just pulled out, uh, this is one of my favorite stencils. It's the Heidi Swapp stencils that has like the tiny circles, stars, and hearts on it. And I use the circles a lot. So I'm using some Bow Bunny, what is it called? Glitter paste. And this is the gold one. I have a gold, a silver, and a bronze, and they are really pretty. I just don't use them as much as I should. Um, so yeah, I'm using that with this stencil and just spreading it on with a spatula thingy. And I dried it up and it's all done. So I'm just kind of checking it out, seeing how it's looking, and I decided I wanted to throw some vellum in there. I have this embossing folder by Anna Griffin and Cuttlebug, and it's a chicken wire, and I love that embossing folder. Um, I just think it looks really cool. So yeah, so I am going to run this through my thingy here, and you can see how cool that vellum looks. And I'm going to kind of figure out how I want it layered back there, and I'm just going to tear it on all four sides so that it has like a really distressed look to it. And I think that's why I like the chicken wire one, because it really does give like a cool distressed pattern. It's not super graphic, so versus like a polka dot or any, which are all cool too. This is just like a more distressed type thing, I feel like. So I'm liking how all of that looks, and I'm feeling like I should start sticking some stuff down. So I'm going to use a mixture between my ATG gun and some Scotch 3M foam here, and foam tape, excuse me. And I'm just placing either type of adhesive in the middle of the layer above the next layer so that I can kind of just place it on there and see where I want to put it. And then I wanted to leave spaces on the sides in case I wanted to tuck in some embellishments or, you know, this and that. So I stuck it down, and yeah, I really like how that looks. So I'm going to go to these cut aparts, and I just thought this was funny because clearly I am Asian, and they had a label that said fine china, which I am not Chinese, but I just still thought it was funny. So I put it in there. And I have pulled out this like chevron that I had cut out from obviously a different project, and I wanted to try to make it work, but I don't end up using that. So, and then that is another little label that I'm layering, and I just have the limited edition part kind of peeking out. And that is a tag that said, "Give me a kiss," but I couldn't, there was nowhere I could have fit it in where you could have actually read the sentiment on it. So that's not going to make it either. And that block just has like it's like a journaling spot that I'm going to use, and it says name and date on the top of it. And so, yeah. And all of this so far, except for the washi tape, is from this collection. So, yeah, I just love this collection. It really is my favorite of all time. So I'm going to trim out that fine china a little bit into kind of the design that was on the label versus the rectangle. And I stuck that down, and I believe I stuck the limited edition down. I'm not sure. So these are the 3D kind of sticker elements, and I'm going to go through a couple before I just decide to use the layered heart with the stitching down the middle. And since I don't have a sewing machine, I really like elements that incorporate that because I have a lot of like the hand stitching things, but I'm just too lazy to do it most of the time. So those are already done and add like a cool looking texture. So this is the chipboard from Flea Market, and they have one that says me and you, and they're all kind of separate chipboard pieces, and you get the positive and the negative. And so the negative, which you see, has like a cool square shape to it. So I'm gonna use that, and I just used the me part because it's a photo of me, and then I threw like a dark teal resin bow down there by that stitched heart, which is also from this collection. And then I had this like random strip. This is just a baggie of the all of the different ephemeras that I have for this collection. Um, and so I'm just kind of digging through it. But that strip was in there, which was a cut apart off of a 12 by 12 piece. And since I don't throw anything away from this collection, it is a rule. I just pulled it out and I'm going to layer it up there in that top right kind of area. So I layered an ephemera piece that says this memory belongs to under of my title there. And I think I'm just looking for a paper to back those chipboard letters with. So I pulled out one of the 6x6 pads, one of the two that I have for this collection. And I'm going to use this kind of darker pink chevron, but you're not going to see any of the chevron part. I'm going to kind of lay them diagonally so that you just see more of the dark pink. And I'm just going to use my little detail scissors to cut off the excess paper, so now that title definitely stands out a lot better. And I like how that looks, so I'm going to use some glue dots to stick this resin flower down and just get my title going here. Just sticking that on down with my trusty ATG. And I'm going to do my journaling now. And my journaling, I just basically put Alicia after the name. And yeah, I just kind of wrote what was going on. I mean, we were on vacation when I took this picture. Shocker, I know. And, you know, we don't get very many nights out, and as most parents don't. And so it just says how we had fun going out on vacation when we had a little alone time, me and their dad. And, you know, that I kind of missed getting all pretty and dolled up and going out and stuff. So, and then I just used my Heidi Swap date stamp to date this, or date the stamp the date. And I distressed the edges of it with my Tim Holtz distressor tool thingy and laid that down. And I'm going to lay this strip down. I pulled up that film strip washi, that little bit, and it was perfect to just lay over the top because you can still read the little sentiments it says. And then I pulled out my sequins, and I'm going to use a mixture of like a yellow gold and like a bronzier gold. And these are all Teresa Cullen's sequins, and I'm just sticking them on with some glue dots here, just in random little places that I wanted to be sprinkled. And that is, I believe, gonna. I'm sorry, I got cut off quick. Yeah, that's gonna sum it up. There's gonna be some stills here. I also wanted to let you guys know I did start a new blog. If you wanted to run over there and check it out, I would really appreciate it. It is at www.aliciajinhee.wordpress.com. I'll also leave the link below in the description box as well as at the end of this video. So thanks for watching. Please check out Hannah Lemieux's video. She is Hannah Lemieux here on YouTube, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.